An early retirement is not easy. If it was easy, everyone would retire early. There's a reason that very few people actually do retire early. And I'm going to show you the statistics, not just to scare you, but for all of you to go, wow, so like, I think I'm actually on track to retire early. Or, you know what, maybe I'm not on track yet, but if I save this amount of money for this amount of time, then absolutely I can retire. So I don't want to induce anxiety. That's not why I make these videos. I want you to go, great, here's what I'm actually on track for, and this is realistic. Or, you know what, here's what I'd like to be on track for, and that's what I got to do to get there. Great, now I have a plan. I'm a soccer player, as many of you know. I do not like getting injured. I don't know anyone who does. But when I get injured, I am not fun to be around. I am hangry, hungry, and angry. Not a good combo. Until I get my MRI and I go, okay, now I'm going to finally get to see the severity of the injury. Then I see it. Sometimes it's good news. Sometimes it's not good news. But once I have a plan that tells me what I need to do, then I feel better. So injury doesn't change. I was still injured, but I just need that plan. So I'm going to be walking you through some stats that might really help shift you in your thinking. And you might go, I'm in a better spot than I think. You might go, I've got some more work to do, but I get that an early retirement as a whole is a difficult concept, and you guys are trying to achieve that. So just by listening and watching these videos, you are already on a great path, because there's lots of people on the couch not watching these videos. So with that being said, let's hop in. My name is Taublieb. I'm a certified financial planner. I'm the host of the Early Retirement Podcast, and I'm the vice president at Root Financial. Now, everything I'm going to go through, always fun, educational, informational content. Please be smart about this. Do not go execute a strategy without a financial advisor or tax professional or estate attorney or whatever it is you're trying to do. Here's the disclosure. Please know everything. Educational, fun, informational. Let's hop in. So here are a few surprising statistics for an early retirement. Number one, 25% of workers retire before age 60. 25%. Now it says workers, so that's just any of you out there working right now. This comes from the Employee Benefit Research Institute. An early retirement is less common than people think. 25% of people retire before age 60. Well, here's the difficult thing. What does early retirement mean? There's actually not a technical definition. I say it's whenever you're in a position to work, but you're only working because you want to, not because you have to. So you're in a position to work, but you don't have to actually go. To me, that's what early retirement is. When are you working because you want to, not because you have to? Now, some people say an early retirement is any time before age 65. You wouldn't be wrong if you said that. I want to hear from you guys. When you hear early retirement, just let me know below. Does that sound like 50? Does that sound like 40? Does it sound like 62? Just know early retirement is a broad term. It's like saying, hey, are you healthy? It's like, well, I'm healthy, but for example, I'm healthy. I categorize myself as healthy, but I'm injured consistently because I play lots of soccer. There's other people that don't play consistent soccer, and they are arguably not healthy, but they're in way less pain than me. So interesting. The next stat is the average retirement in the country is 62 years old. That is the average time frame someone retires. Now, most people think it's 65, but it's not. It is 62. And this suggests that a significant portion of the population is actually able to retire earlier than the traditional age, right? No. Data from the U.S. Census Bureau shows the median retirement savings balance for Americans age 55 to 64 is around $120,000. So let's just make sure we just heard what I just said. Not because I'm amazing, but because this is a crazy stat. Well, if the median retirement savings balance for Americans between 55 and 64 is $120,000, and if you've seen any of my previous videos, I'll often encourage people to try to save 50 to 100,000 in a single year. And so you're like, hey, you want me to save almost as much as like what people are retiring on? Like, how is this happening? This is not the traditional early retirement that I talk about. Now, this is real. This is real people retiring early. A lot of you watching my videos, I know you. You've got $1 million, $2 million, or $500,000 or $20 million. And you're going, look, I just want to make sure I don't miss anything from taxes. I don't want to retire too early. Don't want to retire too late. This is what's surprising. The survey, this was done by Bankrate, found that the most common reason people retire early is not because they've saved enough. So it's not like they go, I have $120,000, I'm going to go retire early. What happens is it's job loss or health issues, and then they recognize, hey, I don't know if I actually can go back to work, meaning even if I want to, I don't have the ability to, or my health is now in a spot where I actually truly cannot just go back to work. I can't do anything because my health doesn't allow for it. Unplanned early retirements are more common than voluntary, financially prepared early retirements. That to me is an interesting statistic because I selfishly am talking to people who generally have 2, 3, 4, 5 million bucks because I get lit up by all the tax strategy and estate planning and health insurance optimization. That's not a lot of people retiring early though. A lot of people are not retiring early because of health purposes and other things. I actually put a video out, I believe it was a week or a few weeks ago, of a woman that came to me upset that she had $3 million. I said, look, lady, I don't want to be mean. I didn't say, look, lady, but I said, look, I don't want to be mean, but not a lot of people are angry that they have $3 million. So what's going on? And she said, well, I have bad sciatica, which is a disease in her leg. It makes it really uncomfortable for her to live and just be seated, and she wants to hike in retirement. She says that's really not going to happen anymore. So she has plenty of money, but she doesn't need that amount of money. So she wishes she had less money with more health. Now, in the moment, if I bet you went to her and said, hey, you can retire with $2 million, she would have said, yeah, but I'd rather work a little bit longer because wait till I have $3 million, one more bonus, one more year, then I'm going to retire. That's what I hear all the time. Don't cheat yourself and keep pushing it back. And the sad reality is when I started making videos and podcasts about an early retirement, I did not know about all of the health issues that I was going to run into. Okay, now this is important for you guys to hear. So look at my screen right now. This was a real email I received, and I sent out a big email saying, here's how to make your spouse excited to discuss money. Because for many of you, you're like, hey, I like this stuff, but my partner or my spouse just doesn't like hearing it. And I'll tell you the quick story, and then I'm going to reshare my screen. This was maybe 8 years ago, or in 2024, maybe 7 years ago. I'm shadowing an advisor, really nice guy. Now, the advisor showed up to the meeting. I'm shadowing, so I have to be quiet. I'm just taking notes. And the advisor said, hey, couple, we're going to say John and Jane. Jane, I can tell you're really into this. I can tell you're into the taxes, and I can tell that you're into the estate planning and asset allocation, but your husband's not. And because of that, you can let him know he doesn't really have to sit here at the meeting. And the husband, John, is like, thank God, this sounds terrible. I don't want to do financial stuff. My wife's all about it. You run it. I was pissed. Now, I tried to keep my cool. I didn't do a great job, but I was very angry. I did stay somewhat calm, let's just say. And the reason I was angry is I was thinking, if something happens to her, he's not going to know why we're doing any of this. So the whole point of the story, it's just sad, but she passed away a few years later. He comes to the meeting and he goes, wait a second. Roth conversions, like why would we pay taxes when we don't need to? Yeah, we're not doing that. Help kids? I just said that because my wife was here. So now the whole plan is getting screwed up because he wasn't willing to be on a few initial meetings and because the advisor let him off. So I am not that nice and I require the spouse that are on the meetings. But I recognize it's hard to start that conversation for those of you that go, my spouse doesn't want to listen to this stuff. So I made a video saying, here's how to get your spouse excited to discuss money. And if you want to check it out, it's in the archives. But here's the reason I bring this up. So this person reaches out, says, Ari, I have quite the set of facts for you and two very important questions. For whatever it's worth, I think this probably makes for a very poignant case study. I'm a partner at a major law firm. My income is ridiculously high and guaranteed until December of 2025. Goes on to say, I would say undeservedly high, but the market is the market. I have done okay savings-wise, net worth around 10 million, 8 million in liquid investments. We also don't scrimp on anything. I'm going to put away another 3 to 3.5 million over the next 18 months. So I can know some of you guys right now are going, hey, this does not sound like the whole purpose of today's video. Like you were talking about people that are retiring with $100,000. This guy's saving 3.5 million. I'm showing you the principle. That's my goal today. So just stick with me a little longer. This person says, plus I have another 1 million in equity, interest-free loan. So look, this guy has lots of money. Here's the point of why I'm showing you this. This guy says, I'm about to turn 56. My wife just turned 50. Unfortunately, this year she was diagnosed with Parkinson's, so I'm reevaluating everything. We just bought a slightly overpriced condo on the Jersey Shore. I'm learning life is short, so I owe 2.5 on the mortgage. My primary home is worth yada yada. To retire the way I want to, I need $34,000 a month in spending money. That's all in except for healthcare, which I have no understanding of how to estimate. Frankly, I've worked really, really hard to get to this point, and the plan was for my wife and me to enjoy this time as we intend to. So my two questions: how do I get around healthcare costs? What really is my number? Hope to hear from you. So why do I bring this up? If you have $100,000 and you retire and you have, like this person, 10 million net worth, their retirement isn't that different. So yeah, this person might be in Jersey Shore or the other person might not be in Jersey Shore, but they both have health issues. And this person, so sad, wife just turned 50, diagnosed with Parkinson's. There's no amount of money that can bring this back. So the hopeful message that you take away from this show is prioritize your health. These are the stats. I want you to all retire early, not too early, not run out of money, not too late. Last stat I have for you guys today, because I cannot help myself, is there's lots of research that shows the average retiree only spends about 70 to 80% of their pre-retirement income. This indicates early retirees may be able to get by on less than is commonly recommended. What does this mean? Well, if you have a job that pays you $100,000 a year right now, some people go, I need $100,000 to be able to live in retirement. No, you don't, because there's taxes and there's insurance and there's 401k contributions and there's health insurance premiums and there's stuff that's coming out of your paycheck which might actually result in you having, let's just for ease of numbers here, say $7,000 a month or $84,000 a year. Then there's a lot of other things that go into it. But the point here is the average retiree only spends 70 to 80% of their pre-retirement income. So I don't need you going, okay, I make $100,000 a year. I need my portfolio to make $100,000. You might spend more than $100,000 the first few years of retirement because of your energy and health. Then you might spend way less. So I want you to have a dynamic retirement. And the way to have success is to go, yep, there's healthcare, got to pay for it until Medicare kicks in. Here's the cost. It's in my plan. I'm accounting for it. So lots of videos I've done on healthcare, lots of videos on taxes and estate. Today is just a few stats to make you think a little differently about an early retirement and maybe make you think, hey, am I on track to do this? I think so, but I don't really know. And I've told many of you guys this, but this is why I created this tool. So if you go into this academy, now let me be clear, there's no one-on-one guidance, there's no financial advice. This is if you want to play around with a tool for a few $100, you go in there and you get to go play around and find out what you're on track for. Some of you might go, I need to save way more to my Roth, not my traditional 401k. Some of you might go, well, healthcare costs, I'm not going to be able to retire at 60, but I can retire at 61. Great. I just saved you a year of not working possibly with a boss that you don't like working with or a political environment you don't resonate with. So just go find out the earliest time work can really become possible. That's what I'm all about. You want to see me work with clients and samples and all that. Now, let me be clear. This is a do-it-yourself course. This is good for those that are like, yeah, I want to build my own plan, few $100, see what I'm on track for. That's what today's video is all about. Healthcare, taxes, thinking through health as a whole. Hopefully this was helpful for you guys. See you next time.